fellow Pilipino na nando sa napakalayong lugar at nakakulong, I vote yes or in favor of Resolution number 144. My vote is guided by humanitarian considerations. Former President Duterte is now 80 years old. According to reports, his health is deteriorating. Hindi po ito unang beses sa ating kasaysayan na tayo ay naging mahinahon at makatao sa dati nating mga pangulo.
Tatlo naman ang bumoto ng no o hindi pabor sa naturang Senate resolution kung saan inihag din ng dalawa sa kanila ang dahilan ng kanilang boto.
Kung tunay nga may sakit ang dating Pangulo, hindi ba't ang solusyon ay dalhin sila sa ospital sa The Hague, Netherlands habang binibigyan ng angkop ng tulong at suporta mula sa Philippine Embassy doon? Mga kasama, ang mga atrocities ng tinatawag na war on drugs ay hindi mga guni-guni lamang. Sila ay mga winasak na buhay ng libo-libong mga mahihirap na Pilipino.
Saan tayo? Humanitarian consideration o sa mga daing ng hinihiling ang hustisya? Bilang chairman ng Committee on Justice and Human Rights, nais ko mang pumanig sa isang banda. Tungkulin kong pumanig sa mga daing ng naghahanap ng hustisya. I vote no.
Nagbigay din ng pahayag ang dalawang senador na nag-abstain o umiwas sa pagboto sa alinman sa dalawang panig.
I am faced with two equally important issues affecting life and liberty. I am supportive of any efforts to bring comfort to PRRD and to uplift his well-being during this crucial time. However, my choice or decision in my conscience might even help in further dividing the nation. Therefore, I register an abstention. If we will use the reason, as a humanitarian, that's why we have to put the former President Rodrigo Duterte under house arrest, I would vote yes. But it should be proven na meron po siyang sakit. Then, if it's true, I'll cast my vote as yes. Pero without proof na yun nga talaga ang totoong pangyari, then I'll abstain. Thank you, Mr. President. Is abstention? Abstention po ako.
Hindi naman nakaboto ang apat pang senador dahil umalis sa mga ito bago ang botohan sa plenaryo maliban kay Senador Camille Villar na naka-maternity leave. Asher Cadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. Diyos ang aming sandigan, serbisyo publiko ang aming pinahalagahan.
Okay, narinig natin po, nakita natin po ang desisyon ng Senado, 15-3-2. 15, nag-support ang resolution, yes, asking Malacanang to contact ICC and support itong interim release of Tatay Digong for humanitarian reason. Tatlo naman po, insisted talaga po na hindi dapat po dahil sa mga biktima na po ng yung namatay sa war against drug ni Tatay Digong. And dalawang senador, they abstain, maganda din ang mga reasons nila po, and acceptable din yan po, no? So first and foremost, when I ask some opinion, comments coming from mga Filipinos dito po sa Sabah, now, kanina, and malungkot sila po na mayroon pa rin mga senador natin po na we don't know kung nasaan daw po ang konsensya ng tatlong senador po. So, majority of the Filipinos I spoke kanina po tungkol itong issue po, they thank ang 15 senador po. 15 senador na support itong resolution po dyan po sa Senado. Sa Senado po. Mga Filipinos, tayo po mga Filipinos, we are very known. We are very known po. We are very known. We are peace-loving, we are caring, we understand ang situation, ang mga sitwasyon na mahirap in a situation wherein you're facing some problems, mabigat ang problema ninyo po. Ang mga Filipinos po, we understand and we try to comfort. We try to comfort kung maskin paano po. No? And we are very proud always to say that we are a Filipino. Filipinos are not for nothing. No? We are not for nothing. See? So, ganun yun po. Ang ano po, ako mismo, I can proudly say, saludo talaga ako po, dyan po sa 15 senador natin who voted for yes sa resolution. Kailangan po, it only shows that itong 15 senador natin po who voted affirmative, that they are a real Filipino. Real Filipino po. They're really peace-loving, caring, ano pa po, no? God-fearing people, leaders natin po. And they know, I know what is the meaning of suffering. They know what is the meaning of based on humanitarian reason. You just imagine po. Just imagine. And I myself, I felt, I saw, I experienced. Meron din ako mga relatives, mga close to me sa buhay ko po. Matanda na sila po. They tend to forget things already po. Dementia. Even ang movements nila po, kung walang kasabay, nobody is beside them po, nahirapan na sila po. Even to make few steps. Even to make few steps po. So, close guarding palagi tayo po sa mga elderly natin po, especially yun may mga sakit na po. Alam natin yan po, alam natin. And, maskin paano, no matter what, because we love ang pasyente natin. We try to do everything so that may comfort yung tao, yung loved ones natin po. We try to make their lives easy, knowing the fact that nahirapan na talaga sila po. For humanitarian reason po, nandyan tayo palagi. Yun po ang Filipino. Yun po mga Filipinos po. This is a real Filipino. A real Filipino po. Kaya nga saludo ko sa mga senador who supported the resolution. Who supported the resolution po. Sana lang po yung tatlong senador, the three senators, namely Senator Risa Hontiveros, Bam Aquino, and Kiko Pangilinan. Kayo din po, mayroon kayong mga loved ones ninyo po, or you also experience, o nakita ninyo po, paano ang tao na kailangan ng tulong, especially they are already old. Sinabi na nga po, before passing the resolution, before they have voted for that resolution, this is for humanitarian reason po. Alisin na natin yung politika. Huwag na tayong mag-isip yung politika. Put aside first ang politics and think of this particular person. Okay na, si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte at the age of 80. Nasa detention center siya po. Room. Detained siya. Siya lang mag-isa. And remember, maskin si Senator Christopher Bongo was saying she has to take his maintenance 27 pieces of benzene. And with this condition po, I don't think so, he can take his 27 medicines for maintenance every day po. And you just imagine, at the age of 80 po, doon ka po, secluded ka lang po sa isang room. Kaya sabi ni Senator Ruben Padilla, sabi niya, ako din I experienced life inside the jail. Sabi niya, mahirap talaga po ang buhay ni Tatay Digong. Parang nasa ano siya eh, parang, what is the term isolated ka. So, mayroon yung term natin sa Pilipinas, Bartolina. Nasa Bartolina ka lang. But that Bartolina, hindi, Bartolina kagaya talaga sa Bilibid, sabi ni Senator Ruben Padilla. Percentage mo, ikaw lang mag-isa. Ikaw lang mag-isa po. Na we already saw, and some of our senators po also experienced life inside a detention center. I will not mention names. Alam niyo po kung sino-sino mga senador na detain. Pero maganda din yan, ang detention center natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, sa mga VIPs, may aircon pa sila siguro, may she was even, when she was a senator, she was even, out of humanitarian reasons, she was given some privileges po. Even to attend ang plenary session po via online. Why? Kasi ganito ang mga Pilipino po. Ganito ang mga Filipino. Ang pagdating naman dito ngayon sa case ni Tatay Digong, alam na natin po, we have seen him sa TV, we have seen him, kung paano ang sitwasyon niya po, even in walking, hindi na siya pwede po, hindi kagaya noon when he was still the president. See? Mahirap ang buhay po. Yet, mayroon pa tayong mga senador who still think of putting political colors in making the decision po whether to approve ang resolution or not. Kaya sabi na nga, tapusin na natin, put aside muna ang politics. Just think, si Tatay Digong, a former president of the Philippines, ganito ang sitwasyon ngayon, kailangan na kailangan siya, somebody to be with him. That's why we are shouting for house arrest na lang po. Mga Filipinos, during the time of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, house arrest din po. Time of President Joseph Estrada, nasa house arrest din siya po. Why can we consider si Tatay Digong to give him house arrest privilege? Bakit po hindi pwede? During the time of Tatay Digong, when he was the president, kayo po, Senator Riza, you and your relatives also benefited, enjoyed the safety, your own safety, the safety of your, na-feel ka eh. You feel you're safe sa bahay ninyo po. You feel you're safe when you move out or you leave your house for appointments or meetings or what, going to the office. Safe na safe kayo po. Nakita niyo po how he fought for the fight against illegal drugs. And now you're closing your eyes. You are not supporting itong resolution po because of politics. Because of politics ba yun? Obviously, yes. Because of politics. Galit na galit sa iyo ni Madam Senator Risa Hontiveros ang mga Filipinos. Ako rin, I myself, when I heard your explanation yesterday dyan po sa plenaryo, sabi ko, anong klaseng Filipina itong leader natin? Walang konsensya po. Sana ang konsensya ni Madam Risa Hontiveros. Remember po, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Ma'am Aquino, you remember during the time of Tatay Digong how we value itong humanitarian reason. But everybody, even the late President Pinoy Aquino, refuses Ferdinand Marcos Sr. to be buried in the Philippines. Anong ginawa ni Tatay Digong? What he said, forget about politics. Based on humanitarian reason, he is confirmed, he became a president, he is a soldier, Filipino soldier, and he is a Filipino citizen who did a lot of things also for the country. And I'm going to allow the burial of former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Yun po ang leader. He did not consider about political. You see, when he made that decision, it was a decision that is very difficult for the leader to say because alam niyo po, marami din mga tao na galit kay Marcos. But he stuck to his promise. He took to his principle, stick to his principle po. Now, under the Constitution, it says, if you are a president, if you are a hero, a soldier, if you are a Filipino, did something, who died for, or you did something for your country, then you're entitled or deserve to be buried dyan po sa libigan ng mga bayani. And he did that despite ang dami mga criticism. Yun po. Kailangan pa ba maghintay na lang tayo mamatay si Tatay Digong bago kayo, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Bam, you will realize the importance of the real meaning of humanitarian reason? Hindi ba pwede set aside muna tayo ang politics? If only you see that Tatay Digong is really, healthy, siguro I will agree with your decision. Pero hindi po. Hindi po. So, yun po. Yun po ang sentimento. Hindi lang sentimento ko po, but also ang sentimento ng mga Filipinos dito po sa Sabah when I talked to them earlier po before this program natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Okay, when we talk about Senate President Tito Sen Soto, yes, maganda din ang reasoning niya. See? And it was a wise decision to abstain. Abstain na lang. Kasi ako ang presidente ng Senado. Baka if I will say yes or say no po, baka it will create or further divide ang Senado. So, I'll just wait for the decision of the majority. That's good. Although kung pwede lang sana, as a Filipino and as a leader, and President Ferdinand, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, what kind of a leader he is. But anyway, that's your decision. Okay, when it comes to the abstaining of Senator Raffy Tulfo, may puntos din siya po. May ebidensya that he's already sick and is not capable of being alone, then he will support resolution. Pero kailangan mo na po ebidensya. So, kailangan mo na po ICC officials, ang health authorities nila po, to do independent checking, health check kay Tatay Digong, and the result will come out, and if it is deemed necessary, then Senator Raffy Tulfo say, wala akong problema dyan. Wala akong problema dyan. Yan po. So kayo, what do you think? Ano kaya? How do you feel ang desisyon ng itong tatlong senador? Itong tatlong senador. Si Senator Bam Aquino, si Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and Senator Risa Hontiveros. Do you agree? Do you agree ang reasoning nila for voting no? Kayo nang bahala po. Alright? Okay, punta tayo. The next issue, my final issue ngayon po that I'm going to touch is itong flood control projects or anomaly dito po o dyan po sa Pilipinas. Grabe na ito po. And, was it yesterday or today, si former Independent Commission for Infrastructure Special Advisor, si Mayor ng Baguio, Benjamin Magalong, during the committee hearing ng finance, kanina umaga po, Senator Bam Aquino asked him to say something about how he feels, no? When he was still the special advisor ng ICI. Ano nakikita niya po? Let me share with you ang statement ni Mayor Benjamin Magalong po. And after you listen to this thing po, kayo nang bahala. Whether may puntos ba o walang puntos. Whether totoo ba or hindi totoo. Ito po. Let's listen to this.
Linggo nag-iimbestiga ng mga katiwalian sa ating bansa. Ano po yung mga nakita po ninyo? Ano po yung mga nais nyo pong i-share rin po sa amin? Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you and to our special guests and fellow public servants. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. I had a very brief stay with ICI, Mr. Chair. But one thing that I found out, there are actually only three players, main players dyan. Yung mga korrupt na politiko, yung mga korrupt na mga bureaucrats, and we're talking about infra, ibig sabihin mga korrupt na DPWH officials, at yung mga korrupt din ng mga contractors. Lahat sila korrupt dyan. Lahat. And the way I see it, it has become a cottage industry, a livelihood program. No? Sa laki ng perang involved. No? There should be 5 major players. No? Yung funder, which usually yung mga lawmakers, the DPWH at yung mga contractors, local government at yung community. Pero inis out yung dalawa. Last dalawa. So sila lang nag-uusap. Most of the time, when we ask them, bakit hindi kayo transparent sa records? Bakit hindi nyo ilabas? Ang lagi nilang sinasagot is, paano kung i-alter nila? Paano kung baguhin at sirahin kami sa social media? So, ibig sabihin, anong mechanism? And that's the reason why we're pursuing this, itong transparency and accountability mechanism. And, na-introduce nga itong blockchain sa amin. So, pag in-introduce mo, sinabi mo na sa mga official na yan na, o bakit hindi nyo blockchain? Wala na silang rason. Kasi very weak yung kanilang alibay. Nasabihin na, hindi namin gagawin yan kasi baka nakawin. O kaya baka i-alter pa, sirain pa kami. So, it's a very weak alibi, pero may rason pa rin sila. May lusot sila. I was really surprised when suddenly I was asked, or there was a press conference, without even consulting me, calling for me. And it was actually a hastily arranged press conference. Then suddenly, binabanggit na doon na, I'm not an investigator, I'm just a legal advisor, when in fact, sila naman ang gumawa nung designation na yun, legal advisor and investigator. So there were contrasting na mga pronouncement. Kakayanin ko pa yan eh, tatanggapin ko pa yan eh. Tatanggapin ko rin na wala akong authority over the PNP, CITG, which is true. But we took the opportunity to enter into an MOU. Nakipag-MOU kami for
everybody. It's a whole of the nation approach. Kasi nga overwhelming. One thing that I found out is I anticipated that it is widespread. But the level, the depth, and the magnitude is really overwhelming. That hindi mo kakayanin ng isang taon, dalawang taon to investigate cases in thousands of cases. Sabi ko nga, it became a cottage industry. Sa isang probinsya nga lang, sabi mo, isipin mo mga 50 ghost projects, 40 ghost projects, o kaya undocumented na mga projects umaabot sa 9,000. Sa isang probinsya pa lang yan. Paano pa kaya sa ibang probinsya? At isa sa mga nakikita namin doon is, why is it na ang lumalabas sa NEP for a particular district, 1 million lang ang hinihingi mo. I have the records. Or 2.5 lang sa President's budget. Then suddenly, pagkalabas ng saga, bakit umabot na ng mga 21 billion? And nakita namin na talagang prevalent yung yung mga ghost and substandard projects sa lugar na yun. So what was the intention? No? Hindi naman tayo tanga. Ang nangyayari dito lumalabas na tanga ang Pilipino, kaya pabayaan mo na lang sila. Hindi na nila mapapansin yan. Nakakainsulto isipin. Nakakainsulto. Okay, balikan ko uli yung press ko na yan. Nilabas. And then, suddenly, tinabi na may conflict naman ako being the mayor and at the same time being a member of the ICI. By the way, I'm not a member of the commission. I'm not a commissioner there. In fact, sila nga yung gumawa ng workaround nun na legal advisor investigator. Pero in-out na ako doon tinanggal na nila lahat. And then suddenly, here comes a below the belt naman na accusation na dahil merong project si Diskaya doon at maanumalyang tennis court. Sobra na yan. Yan na hindi ko matake. Di ba? Parang pinapalabas mo pa ng kurap ako. Yan na, mag-aaway na tayo dyan. Ano? Sa una-una, sabi ko nga, kung bulok pa ako, lalabanan ko yung mga very powerful na tao dyan. Di ba? You have to make sure that you have the moral ascendancy bago mo labanan yung mga tao. Otherwise, masisira ka din. So nonetheless, I think I struck a nerve. No? I don't like to, expound further. Basta I believe I struck a nerve or several nerves na they panic at kaya ganun kaya nangyari. So, I would like to end yung aking experience dyan sa ICI. But one thing that I can say is that there's no transparency. There's no transparency whatsoever. Nakita namin yan ni Secretary Vince. Tinago lahat. No? And they are just so comfortable doing it. They're not afraid. Imagine, hindi man lang nila naisip na paano ang taong bayan. Nakakainsulto pa. At ito nga, lately nga, sinabi pa na yung involved na congressman dyan, si Saltico, he did not abandon it. It was a sacrifice. My God. Nagdakaw ka ng bayan, kaya sasabihin mo, it was a sacrifice on your part. And it's not an abandonment. Ganyan na makababa yung standard natin sa Kongreso, Mr. Chair. Ganyan na ba tayo kawalang hiya ngayon? Manhid, di ba? Napaka-callousness, hypocrisy. At nakaka-insulto sa mentalidad natin Pilipino. So,
Alright, then narinig natin po si Mayor Benjamin Magalong po of Baguio po, and it was appointed as the Special Advisor Investigator of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure po. They're doing investigation now itong flood control projects, anomalous projects po, nationwide dyan sa Pilipinas, involving billions if not trillions of pesos po, taxpayers money. I totally agree with Mayor Magalong na silang lahat ay corrupt. When I say silang lahat po, it means ang mga politiko mentioned in these anomalous transactions, be it senators or congressmen. Itong government officials natin po in the different government agencies nationwide, nationwide, especially dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways, ang Commission on Audit, and many more po, government agencies na suspected that they did not do their job properly po as expected from them by the Filipinos. As mentioned dyan po sa Constitution, that they have to protect the Constitution and protect the welfare and interests of every Filipino as a elected government, appointed government officials po. And of course, the third one is corrupt silang lahat, ang mga contractors po. Private sectors, ito mga contractors po. What they are trying to do, both the politicians mentioned in this issue, government officials, and contractors po, walang konsensya yan po, what they did. What they did po. Grabe talaga. Wala na sila, hindi na sila takot po sa gobyerno. And dahil ganon po ang ginawa nila po, wala na, ang government trust nawala na po. I hope we can still recover. Wala nang kumpiyansa, wala nang trust ang mga Filipinos po sa kanila, sa gobyerno. Wala na po. That's why you can see itong mga demonstration rallies left and right po. Pagod na po, enough is enough. Pagod na po ang mga Filipino po. It did not only happen 2022, starting 2022, noon pa po, even the time of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and other presidents after Arroyo. And we noticed during those early days, ang kickback po is only around 10%, 5 to 10%. Tapos tumaas na po to 10 to 15%. And worse still, pagdating 2022, the time of our incumbent president ngayon po, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., ang commission na po, ang kickback na po, nagiging 25, 30, and some areas 40 po. You just imagine how they did it. Wala nang takot po. They are not afraid anymore. Why they're not afraid? Because this corruption became a livelihood program for this kind of people. This kind of people. Cottage industry na, sabi ni Mayor Mangalong. And okay, before I will forget, last September 13, it was no less than the Undersecretary, Attorney Claire Castro, who mentioned during the press briefing that Mayor Benji Magalong has been appointed as a special advisor and investigator of ICI, Independent Commission for Infrastructure. But you know what happened? September 26, na-clarify si Attorney Claire Castro na Magalong is only a special advisor and not an investigator. So saan po ang totoo? Then, you keep on mentioning about fake news, disinformation. Saan po? Saan ang totoo dyan? Sa September 20 o sa September 13 announcement ni Attorney Claire Castro, ang spokesperson ng Malacanang, or ang statement niya, ang announcement niya sa September 26, which is which? So you're trying to confuse mga Filipinos. Kung lumabas na ang totoo, you deny it. This is exactly what is happening sa Pilipinas. Kaya nga, you cannot blame. Galit na kami po. Galit na galit. Hindi lang ang mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah o dito sa Malaysia po. Particularly dito sa Sabah kasi nandito ako po. We are fed up. Hindi lang kami po. I suppose even ang other overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang nasyon, iba-ibang parte ng mundo po, who we are trying to do our level best po to give a better future to our loved ones whom we left temporarily dyan po sa Pilipinas. Hoping that our remittances will help the government provide our loved ones the basic public facilities po. Kagaya in the event, may mga typhoon po, they will not suffer. Ang mga loved ones namin po will not suffer itong negative domino effects of flash flood. Via making sure that the government will make sure that all these flood control projects po will be carried out, completed as expected po, timely, and its purpose will be served. But hindi yun nangyari po dahil ang pera, instead of going to these projects po, it went to the pockets of these selfish politicians, greedy government officials, greedy, dishonest contractors po. You see? And what happened to our country because of this kind of leaders, of government officials natin po and mga contractors natin, mga private sectors po. What happened to the country? Nawala ang pera natin po. And who wants to come and invest sa Philippines? Foreign investors, which the president keep on saying, I went to this country and to that country because one of the reasons is because I want to entice, invite, entice, encourage, convince foreign investors to come to the Philippines and invest because with the presence of foreign investment po, the country will progress, the lives of every Filipino will be level up. Wala po. How can you convince foreign investors to come to the Philippines? Dito na lang po sa Malaysia. I spoke to a lot of businessmen, Malaysian businessmen po. They say, yes, very nice. When we talk about the distance between Philippines and Malaysia or Sabah po, advantage para sa amin. But the problem is, wala kayong political stability. See, I keep on mentioning, for a country to progress, dapat po tatlong bagay. Tatlong bagay po. Political stability is very important. Nandun yun ang trust po ng mga foreigners, foreign investors natin po. Security stability, kailangan nyo po. Kung wala tayong security, peace and order, topsy-turvy, nobody will come to the Philippines. Tapos, ang economic stability natin po. Yun lang na to po. Simple as that. This is what is happening. This is why our country is going down to the drain. Wala kang political stability, wala kang security stability, wala kang economic stability. Why? Because of corruption. Because of corruption po. Grabe na po ang corruption sa Pilipinas. There is one more thing I just want to say. Although I just heard it this morning, one of the media outlet dyan sa Pilipinas, And I'm referring to ang idol ko po, si Ted Filon and Shasha. No? Now, mayroon, they came up with the news kanina and saying that mayroon naman po ang desisyon ng gobyerno po to increase daw po ang taxes ng itong mga sugar, itong mga 3-in-1 coffee po, 3-in-1 coffee. No? Increase daw ang taxes po. One of the reason is to discourage ang mga Filipinos from taking sweets. Because one of the problems, medical problems ng Filipinas is karamihan ng mga tao ay diabetic. Sobra daw ang sugar. Kaya nga itas nila ang taxes. Na? Itas nila ang taxes. Yun ba ang solution? Yun ba ang solution po? Itas sila ang taxes siguro because nabisto na dyan po sa mga infrastructure projects. So, they must have another way of looking for sources for income. Increase tayo, ang taxes ng itong mga items, sweet items mo, ang mga sugar natin. See? Grabe, no? Have you ever seen mga mahirap po, Filipino po, they even mix ang coffee nila with rice po. Parang soup na yun po. Dahil sa mahirap ang buhay sa Pilipinas. And then here comes now, hindi na nila kaya magbili ng ulam, na sa rice with coffee, and then you want to increase the tax sa sugar. Nahirapan na nga tayo magbili ng galunggong, ng manok, ng veggie. Hanggang dito pa, you want to squeeze ang mga Filipinos. Ano ba ito? Ano ba ito po? Wala nang trust. Magulo na po. Wala nang trust ang mga tao sa gobyerno natin po. Pero no, this is not the end. Pwede pa din. Si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., pwede pa po. You have to wake up. You have to wake up po. Even itong ICI. How can you expect ang mga tao will believe everything ang findings ng ICI? Because wala na kaming trust po. Worst is itong investigation ng ICI po is confidential, secret po. Nasa ng transparency. What the Filipino wants is be open, be transparent. Kung ano man ang mga investigation ninyo, let it be open. Do it an open hearing. By doing so, ang mga Filipino, you'll be able to get back our trust. Pero kung gano'n na po, we will just wait for your announcement. Like what is happening now, we don't know what transpired during that hearing, inside that hearing. Kasi closed door yun po. And then, you want ang mga tao will trust you. Pwede ba yan? Kayo, mga kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah, what do you think? Anyway, sige lang, I will try to do my best. Maski paano po, wag kayong magalit sa akin. I'm just trying to pass whatever I have or I gathered dyan po sa Pilipinas. For at least, tayo mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah, or maybe dyan po sa Malaysia, sa West Malaysia po, no? At least, hindi tayong blind what is happening. Kasi I know, tayo mga Filipinos po, wala tayong enough time. Kayo po, hindi na bali ako because retired na ako eh. I have more time now to monitor what is happening sa Pilipinas. Kayo po, hindi pa kayo retired, na focus tayo po dito sa trabaho natin. And you don't have enough time to see online mga real-time news po. Kaya nandito ako po, maski paano, I won't be able to sabihin tayo, break the news. on time, but I'll make sure that you will get the news. Dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. So with this, siguro po hanggang dito na lang ang programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, dito po sa October 2nd na edition natin. Don't forget ang mga brothers and sisters ko embracing the Roman Catholic faith and mga Kristiyano po. This month is the month of Rosary. Make sure that we do our Rosary every day po. And let's ask our Almighty Creator, our Almighty Creator po, to help us think the right thing, and do the right thing, and ask our Creator to guide us and guide our nation po, the Philippines. So with this, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day-to-day. Maraming salamat po. I love you and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye!